Hello students, so today's video is going to walk you through some math connections, so how to solve using the guess method. So the guess method is basically a systematic way of solving problems in physics. You might have learned a different way to solve in math, but for the purposes of this class, with all the different equations that we might use, with the different things we're looking at, we use this method. So the G stands for givens. This is the information that the problem tells you. So this could be numbers in a data table. This could be pictures on a diagram. It could find that. And you could also find the givens in a word problem. So you're looking for the numbers that it gives you, the given quantities. Then the U stands for unknown. This is what you're trying to solve for. And you put the variable with an equal sign and then a question mark. E stands for equation. What equation are you using to solve? You take that equation from your reference sheet or from the information that you're given, and you write that down exactly as it says. The first S is for substitute. So like a substitute teacher is in place of your regular teacher, substituting in math means you put something in the place of something else. So you replace your variables with the given numbers. So you take the givens and you plug those numbers in. Then the last S is for solution. You solve the problem and you put a box around your final answer with units. So let's look at a problem here before I walk you through how to solve a word problem. So my givens in this case are that I have my distance of 30 meters and I put D equals with the variable 30 meters with the units. T equals 2 seconds. My unknown, I don't know the speed in this case, so I put S equals with a question mark. The equation that I'm solving for in this case is speed. So speed equals distance divided by time, S equals D divided by T. Then I substitute, which is I plug in those numbers, 30 for the distance and 2 for the time. And then I plug that into my calculator and I get my solution. The speed, or S, equals 15, and my units are meters per second. So how would that look if you were solving a problem? Here we have Christy, and Christy is jogging. She runs 1,600 meters. Okay, 1,600 meters. There we go. In 7 minutes. How fast is Christy traveling? So the first thing I do is I set up I want to know how fast Christy is traveling. So I have 1,600 meters and I have 7 minutes here. So I want to set up my guess method. So G for givens, U for unknown, E for the equation, substitute, and solve. So in this case, my givens are my numbers. She runs 1,600 meters. So meters is a measure of distance. It's how far she's traveling. So I'm going to put D equals 1,600 M for meters. And I know that she runs 1,600 meters in 7 minutes. So 7 minutes is my other given. It's a number. It's time, how long it takes her. So T equals 7, and we're going to put MIN for minutes. My unknown in this case, well, that second sentence says, how fast is Christy traveling? How fast is asking me what is her speed. So I don't know the speed. I put S equals with a question mark. Because it's unknown, we put a question mark. Now I have to think, what equation do I use to solve for speed? Well, if I'm thinking of something like miles per hour, that means that my speed is how far I go in how much time. So speed equals distance over time. Now I'm going to substitute, and again, substitute means to plug in. So I'm going to plug in this number for distance, this number for time. So S, speed, is my unknown. I don't know what it is, so I plug in my numbers, 1,600 meters divided by 7 minutes. And in this case, I have all of my numbers on the same side of the equation, so I can plug into the calculator. 1,600 divided by 7 gives me 228.57 meters per minute. So this is the number I get. S equals 228.57, but I'm not ready yet. It's not my full solution. So for the solving part, or the solution, I write the whole thing. S equals 228.57, and then my units, meters per minute. And then I draw a box around my final answer. And that is how you can go through the guess method. Now, sometimes we can plug everything in on one side of the equation. Other times, that's not the case. So let's look at another example. This time, I'm going to go a little bit faster, so make sure you're listening carefully. Here we have Eric. And Eric ran for 0.75 hours at a speed of 5 miles per hour. So this time, we want to know how far did Eric run. So I set up for the guess method, given unknown equation, substitute, solve, and now I have to think, what numbers do I have? Well, I have 0.75 hours, and that is a time. So T equals 0.75 hours. Put a 0 there to help me remember. And at a speed, so it tells me now that I have a speed here. So S equals 5 mph, which is miles per hour. And I want to know how far did Eric run. So that means my unknown is the distance, because I don't know how far. I know the speed and I know the time, but I'm missing that distance. So my equation is again going to be speed equals distance divided by time. And now when I substitute, this number is my speed. So it's going to go here. This number is my time. So it's going to go here. I still plug them in where they belong for substituting. I plug the number in for the letter that it represents. So 5 miles per hour is my speed, which is equal to the distance, because I don't know what that is, so I put D over my time, 0.75 hours. Now, I can't plug this into the calculator, because if I put 5 equals, it's going to just give me 5. I have to manipulate the equation and do some more substituting here. So what I have to do, just like in math class, when you have a problem like this and you're trying to solve, you have to do the opposite. So if I'm taking distance divided by time, that means the opposite would be multiplying. So I'm going to multiply this times 0.75 because that's going to cancel out here. And what I will do to one side, I have to do to the other. So 0.75 also multiplied by this side. So I'm going to rewrite it now. 0.75 hours times 5 miles per hour gives me the distance, which makes sense because if I want to know how far I went, I know how long it took me, and I know how fast I was running, so then I can find my distance. Now I can plug this into the calculator. So 0.75 times 5 tells me that I get 3.75. So let's write my whole solution here for that second S. How far did Eric run? His distance equals 3.75. But what are my units going to be? Well, there's a clue here. His speed is in miles per hour. So Eric ran 3.75 miles. So this video is how to solve using the guess method and how to plug in the information. Thanks for watching.